overwhelmed. If you're watching me on the YouTube side, big up yourself. If you're watching me on the apps, big up yourself. We got a lot to talk about, you guys. Headline news you can use, absolutely. Of course, there's the big event coming up. We have a big event tomorrow. Is the Jamaica International Music Awards, hosted by yours truly alongside TC Flex. The Voice of the Caribbean family has been working so very hard to bring you an exquisite night of musical performance. We will be honoring some of the greats in the music business. Shout out to the people watching online. I see you on my, what's up, all of my YouTubers? What's up? Veggie. Hey, Wagwan. I see you watching. Everybody watching on the apps, pick up yourself. And again, you can always take us anywhere you are on Voice of the Caribbean, the app, right? You can go to the App Store and look up Voice of the Caribbean, and we'll be right there for you. Of course, we are bringing it to you for the culture, for the community. Again, the Jimma Awards. There are some tickets left. You can go on Eventbrite or you can go to Jimma, Jima awards.com, Jimma Awards. Again, the Jamaica International Music Awards will be tomorrow. Make it a date. Don't be late. Friday, February 28th. The kickoff starts with a beautiful reception. This will all take place at the Chateau Mar Golf Resort. I'm grateful again to be co-emceeing with TC Flex. I will be your mistress of ceremonies. And I'm having a good time just thinking about it. We have been going over all of the script. Let me tell you, some greats are going to be in the audience. We have some surprises for you as far as the musical guests that will be there. So again, make sure you have your tickets. Make it a date. And we'll see you tomorrow at Jimma. I also, crazy me, I'll be having my own networking social for professionals tonight. My big event, Politicking, a networking social for professionals, will take place tonight also. So we have a lot going on. I said, boy, Mikey, the weekend puck. And we're back at it on Saturday morning doing live remote broadcasts. We don't stop working because this is a station that is for the people, by the people. Big up everybody listening from the Miami area. Big up everybody listening from Fort Lauderdale and beyond. We appreciate your support. And of course, my event tonight is also free. We do have some space left, but you have to RSVP, right? So make sure you check it out. Eventbrite is called Politicking, presented by Suzette Speaks. I will be having, lots of guests as well. We have over 120 something RSVPs already. So it's going to be a big crowd. And the purpose of this, again, is community building. You know a lot of people. I know a lot of people. But sometimes, especially in South Florida, we don't cross-pollinate. Right? You stay in your little corner, we stay in our little corner, but that's not how we grow as a community, right? In both business, professionally, personally, right? So all the people who are listening again online, I see you. I also wanted to bring, I'm gonna pivot now into what I want to talk about today. We do have a guest that's gonna be calling up shortly. I want to remind you, especially people in South Florida, the Miramar elections, yes, Miramar citywide elections are happening. And of course, we've had a couple of interviews thus far. We've had Papa Keith on, and I'm going to have a couple of guests coming in through my show who are also running for the different commission seats, right? So we want to make sure you know, especially for our Miramar listeners. I know y'all listen heavy. Big up Miramar. So if you have not decided who you'll be voting for on March 11th, Miramar, make sure you tell a friend to tell a friend. Tell your friends and neighbors that live in Miramar. It is on. Right on March 11th, that is the big day where they will be electing many members of the city commission. And we know that Miramar has a rich history when it comes to Caribbean Americans serving on the dais. Right now, all of the members, including the mayor, are of Caribbean American heritage. So we will see what will happen. And we're going to have a guest shortly coming on the Suzette Speaks show to talk about why they're running and what they plan to do for the city. We want to elect good people, right? People who put the community at the center of their agenda. Yes. So speaking of which, I have one word, the word of the day. If you're listening online, the word of the day, as we get ready for this Lenten season, first and foremost, let me send our love, our regards, our prayers to Pope Francis. I talked about him on Friday. As we get ready for this Lenten season, of course, I know there are various religions and beliefs or even non-beliefs of our audience. So I respect all of those who will be celebrating in their high holy month and the seasons that are coming up very soon. I know that for myself, I'm coming from a Christian tradition of belief. I am looking forward to Lent this year. I don't know if you are, but I am. Reason being, I've been so overwhelmed quite honestly, by the level and the speed of the news that we have all been seeing happening coming out of Washington. And I am just in my own mind wanting to recenter myself spiritually. And because this is my particular faith and time of year where I get to recenter and refocus, I will be utilizing a tool that has been used for centuries. And I encourage you to do some reflection yourself. That tool is called, the word of the day, here we go, it's called fast. And I don't mean it in terms of speed, and I don't mean it in terms of running, but I'm talking about what we are willing to let go. Let me tell you something right now, people. With the way the world is moving, we must center ourselves and be vigilant and also move with wisdom and also discernment. Now, again, you may be listening and coming from a different faith tradition, and that's okay too. I'm just expressing to you my take on what is going on and where I am and what I'll be doing. And again, I encourage you, if you want to call in and let me know how you feel with all the news and everything that's going on around the world. I can speak at length about this new administration. I can speak at length about what their plans are and how it's impacting people. We've talked on this show about what happened with USAID. We've talked about the different agencies that we have seen literally gutted by the executive branch, the president and the so-called Doge collective that he put into place, from Elon Musk to others, that have single-handedly been reforming, and some would say destroying, the federal government as we know it. But without going into much more detail about their agenda, just at this moment, take a pause. I want you to consider what we've been talking about, which is the fast. The fast, again, many of our listeners who will be going into their holy reflections, whether they are of, whatever faith, right? You don't have to even be a person of faith to fast. But I'm thinking personally about what I'm going to be doing next week, starting with Lent. Next Tuesday, Mardi Gras, right? Fat Tuesday. And Wednesday is Ash Wednesday. And again, as our thoughts are with the pontiff, the leader of the Catholic Church, who is now, I don't know how many days it is now that he's been in the hospital. They're saying that he's showing a little bit of improvement. He was not out of the woods. And if you are a person of faith, I encourage you to take this time to reflect, because there is so much going on in the world that we truly need that higher power, that divinity that's in each and every one of us, so that we can refocus and so that we can be strengthened in our resolve to stand up and to speak out as we see things that we do not necessarily agree with happening in and around our country. Now I'm looking at the dates for Ramadan. Ramadan also starts this week. This is the Muslim holy month. Ramadan will begin February 28th and it will end on March 29th. So to all of those listeners celebrating Ramadan, I believe the greeting is Eid. Oh, no, I'm saying the wrong word, because Eid is a different holiday. God forgive me. All right. So happy Ramadan. Let me just keep it simple. Happy Ramadan to those who are celebrating Ramadan. But we're truly going to be talking about this thing called fast, because I've seen it being applied in many different areas of life right now, as people are seeking how they plan to take action in times such as these. There are people who are going to be doing it on the spiritual level, which is pushing away the plate. Again, everybody cannot do that. It depends on your own physical stamina. It depends on your ability and your medical conditions, right? Some people are not able to fast and abstain, meaning taking out something from your life. Oftentimes people do alcohol. They abstain from the alcohol. They abstain from meat, which I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about doing the Daniel's fast. Start buy up my things them already. Me buy up my quinoa, me buy up whole heap of vegetable. I cook vegetables all week with my breakfast. I was like, let's get ready. Let's get my palate ready. Let's get my body ready to be strengthened. I'm talking about from inside out both physically and spiritually. Because the way the world are going, when you look around a walk on, you don't know what tomorrow holds. You really don't. So it's up to each and every one of us to become strengthened in whatever way. Doing something again in the realm of not only self-care. Again, a lot of times we neglect ourselves. We do not do the little stuff that makes us happy. Find something each week that makes you happy, that brings you joy, and spend some time doing it. I was in Burlington yesterday. I got 2 Burlington stories. I was in Burlington yesterday, and when I stood in front of a young lady who was so excited about buying her 2 nieces 2 beautiful little everyday toys. One was a fake remote control, for a baby. She told me the little one was like 18 months. And the other one was a nail set, a glow-in-the-dark press-on nail set for her niece that was about 7. And when I tell you, this random lady, now I'm a person, if you see me on the street, I'm going to start the conversation. That's how I was raised. I always start talking to random people. And what I realized too, a lot of random people like talking to me. I meet people all the time where I'm looking at them and all of a sudden they're just having a conversation. They're telling me about their day. They're telling me about their life. Sometimes they're telling me about their deepest, pains. And I actually do count it a blessing and a gift that people feel so open to just talk to me randomly. And I just try to give them a word of encouragement in exchange. But as I listened to her, and as I was, just seeing the joy in her face, I just couldn't help but encourage her. Honey, that's so wonderful, Auntie, that you can get to buy your nieces a beautiful token of love and appreciation and the ways in which they are going to receive it. I say kids are so simple. Sometimes we think they need all of this stuff and them not even play with it. Them play with it for a little bit of time and them throw it away. The simple joys, the simple blessings, we have to lean into them. Right? When I see, and I have so much commentary to give you about Joyanne Reed. When I see what happened to my sister, Joyanne Reed, she has ties to us. Actually, she lived in Miramar for quite a bit of time. Shout out to the city of Miramar in the elections on March 11th. She lived in Miramar for quite a bit of time. She was a member of same organization I was president of, South Florida Black Journalists Association, now NABJ, South Florida. She was a member then, wrote for the Miami Herald, has strong ties here to the South Florida community. Also happens to be, I think, half Guyanese, Joyanne Reed. But we see what happened when you speak out, right? When you, in fact, are not following the status quo. Her show on MSNBC, if you guys already don't know, but it's been trending all over social media. Another top story, that her platform, right, happened to be a Black woman hosting prime time news, right? 7 p.m. I would always tune in on MSNBC. But I'm going back to this theme called fasting. There are very many allies of Joyanne Reed who have said they're going to fast from watching MSNBC. I'm not telling you what to do. We're just having a discussion. If that's all right with you, we're having a discussion. There are many women. I was on a call last week when an organization called Win with Black Women gathered, and it was her first interview, and she was very emotional, and they've been playing clips of her all over the internet crying because that was her guttural reaction, right? That is what she truly felt. And she said, I just want you to know that I believe my show mattered. My show mattered. What I said, who I highlighted, what I gave platform to, who I believed in, who I questioned. She said my show mattered. So for her to say that and still get canceled, and she said, I don't have any regrets. It's been 5 years. And we on the call, there was 10,000 of us, 10,000 women and men, majority Black women on a call on Zoom last week. 10,000, actually it was about 15,000 on the YouTube side because it was an overflow. And when I look and I think about the sacrifices of those who have a platform like my own, help me God, are making to inform the people and make sure the people's voices are heard. We all need strength. So I'm going to talk about this thing called fast. Because I've seen and I've been receiving texts. I don't know about all of you. You know, we always love a WhatsApp forward on the WhatsApp group. There are people calling for a fast tomorrow. Y'all hearing about it? What kind of fast, Sue? An economic fast. What kind of fast, Sue? An economic fast. There are those who are calling for the fasting from certain stores that no longer support diversity, equity, inclusion, and do not see a need for certain of us as a part of this American community as being respected, as being vital to their business model. Now, let me tell you, there's nothing new under the sun. Let me just tell you, there's nothing new on the sun. If you're listening right now, please know that what we're saying is that you have a decision to make. When I'm telling you the word of the day and the word of tomorrow probably going to be fast. Because I know I have to get rid of some things out of my life so that I can be spiritually strong enough to deal with what's going to come. And I'm telling you, we cannot forget that there's power in numbers. Every time you watch the news, I'm encouraging you, do not get discouraged. Because if we understand the power of the collective, and it don't even have to be everybody. That's what I want to, I've been going back in history, because history is some of the greatest teacher we could have. I've been going back in history. When I look at Martin Luther King Jr., most of the people during his time did not support him. Do you hear what I'm saying? Most of the people during his time actually were afraid. Now he's a hero. All we need is about 4 or 5% of people to buy into this. Do you hear what I'm saying? The word for the day is fast. What are you willing to give up? In my own mind, like I said, I have to start from a spiritual core. Whatever your spiritual practice is, we respect all. I'm not telling you what to do, but it's something I need you to consider. For those who are going into their high holy holidays, Lent starts next Wednesday. Ramadan starts tomorrow. Passover, whatever you are celebrating, it's time that we get really centered, right? Like our forefathers did. Y'all don't want to hear it today. I have to tell you what's on my mind. Couldn't sleep yesterday. There are changes that are happening so rapidly. They are designed to create confusion and to make you feel helpless. But let me remind you, you are not helpless. It's going to take both a spiritual strengthening and then a motivated action. You hear what I'm telling you? We are going to do the spiritual work, but we are also going to say, when am I going to put pen to paper? Who can I call? What meeting can I attend? It's a little bit of both. We're going to do the spiritual side, but the word for the day is fast. When you're thinking about reflecting on what you can stop doing, I don't know if you're going to do the economic boycott. That's a fast, Boycott is another word for fast. Y'all don't want me to... That's what they calling it. I'm not calling it that. But boycott is another word for fast. There's one that's being called for tomorrow on Friday. But can you do without your Amazon? I got to take a break. Yeah, we got to take a commercial break. This is Suzette Speaks live. More truth to power. When we come back, don't go nowhere. I need you to call. If you want to call in, you can call in now. 850-446-0562. More after this. But we got to, actually the commercial not playing. If they want me to go hard, I'll go hard now. I don't see the commercial. Miss Chin, locate the studio, please, because we're supposed to have commercials. And I'm supposed to have a guest. I have a guest. I won't say his name, but he's scheduled to come in today. Or at least call me, 850-446-0562. Don't let me leave the people in suspense now. Don't let me leave the people in suspense. You know who you are. You know who you are. You're wanting to call in on the Suzette Speaks show. It's all right. My listeners are some of the most well-educated folks. And I don't mean going to school. I mean looking at the world and trying to make sense of it through critical thinking. That's what I'm talking about, right? You don't need a degree to do that. You can't look and say, who is offering me this information and what do they want me to get from this information? And does it make sense to me? What is it about? Why am I getting this? who is benefiting from this. I can go deep into the Joy-Ann Reid. I can go deep into what's the Doge, so-called Doge is doing. Let me tell you something right now. You see, Sunday, I was on a call with my family. My family is very formal. I thank God for my family. Big up, y'all. Saint and I don't know a place called Yard Castle. Y'all don't know about Yard Castle. That's where my mother's side is from. Yard Castle, Jamaica. Yes, country girl. Let's go. And I thank God for those country roots. My dad is from the city. My dad from Kingston. So it's like city boy meets country girl. You know how that goes. But one thing about my mother's side, we are, excuse me, very formal in our attempts to keep the family together. Understand? And what that looks like is we plan family reunions every 2 years. We don't play about that, right? We make sure we're together and we are spending time together to plan the family reunions. Carla, hold it on. I hope this is my special guest, Carla. I'm going to pull you up, but hold on here. All right, hold that, Carla. So what I want you to know is I was on my family reunion planning call on Sunday, yeah? And can you imagine that we meet, really the board meets. We have a family board. Imagine that. We have officers and everything. Bank account, everything farmer. When we say we've been doing it 30 years. Our last family reunion, we had it in Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia. And the folks from Jamaica came, the folks from Europe came, the folks from Central America come. That's all we fought. Because you remember how the Jamaicans went through Barbados to build the Panama Canal. I have cousins in Costa Rica and Panama. Yeah, pura vida. What's up, my Costa Ricans? We respect and we acknowledge you as a part of this Caribbean family. Understand? So as we were on the call doing our planning, yeah? Hold caller. Don't go nowhere, caller. I was expecting you a little earlier. Let me tell my story. As we were planning for the family reunion. Now, mind you, we have cousins from New York, cousins from, like I said, Central America, cousins all the way from Holland. And we were doing our talk, and everybody, I get them report about what's going on in your region. I'm from the southern region. Hey, so I'm responsible for the southern United States. I've got the Caribbean region represent, all of that. We're very formal. Anyway, do you know on one call with about, let me see, about 8 or 10 people, one cousin from Europe said she cannot travel to the United States because of who she worked for. She worked for a particular agency that now, because of what's happening in the federal government, they are banning them from being able to fly to the United States. I have another cousin from out of New York. Her husband works for the IRS. And she said, we don't know about our thing. We don't know about our thing, if our thing going to be okay, if he's going to be okay after the Doge email. I have another cousin through Atlanta. Her husband works for another government agency. I have another cousin from down here. She tell me her son is in training for FAA. He's still on probation. I have another cousin out west. Can you listen what I'm telling you? We were just a group, a family group, getting together to plan our family reunion. And in the first 10 minutes, more than half of us have been impacted by all the different changes that's going on in the government. Y'all talk about cutting government. Who y'all think they cutting it from? Instead of looking at possibly increasing taxes for certain high earners, they're ready to cut your food. Government is made up of regular, everyday people, the 2 million of them, plus contractors. And I said to myself, but God, look at this. This is just a random gathering of family. And everybody, different people have different story about how them impacted, whether it's their son, whether it's their husband, whether it's them, and them can't do this and them can't do that. The world is changing, but I told you the word for the day is fast. Let me hold on. Let me get the caller. We have a special guest. I hope this is him. He's coming. All right, y'all come through. Hold on, let me come through. All right. Caller, we can't hear you. Good afternoon.
Hi, I'm not your special guest, but I just wanted to call to tell you, preach on, sister, preach on.
Is this Mr. Mayor? How are you, Dale?
I'm all right. I just figured I'd take the time. I'm actually headed down to Miami, but I'm listening, and you're real powerful. Keep it on, my sister.
Thank you, sir.
And let me just let folks understand how important it is for them to self-organize.
Yeah. Uh-oh, you chip out. Come again. Self-organized. Go ahead again, sir.
Yes, my friend Ed Phillips says it's not the majority that starts a revolution. It's only a few. You said 5%. If each person would take on themselves the responsibility to see change happen and organize within their own circle and communities, we can make an impact. This fast, this economic fast, is the most powerful statement that we can make as a people. $1.5 trillion we put into this economy. Understand the billionaire that is now the president of the United States. Not the first one, the second one.
The shadow president. Go ahead, sir.
Well, I always say shadow. He's a real president. The other guy just makes noise. Because if you look at who's cutting who and who's firing who, it ain't him. It's the other guy. He didn't put $200 million into this campaign not to make more money. Understand that. And where's that money coming from? It's coming from you and I and the ordinary folks out here working. Look at the money the Trump family and organization is making now compared to the first he launched. That's making money. He wants to bring Saudi Arabia to do business with him. He's making money. His wife, everybody's making money. Musk is there to make more money at your expense. Don't be fooled. And all of you who were apathetic and didn't go out and do what you needed to do, we're going to pay the price. And this economic fast, in terms of how we spend our money and not spend our money, is critical. When organizations realize that we have the ability to pull our money out and not support them, the Walmarts and the others who decide, well, it's not important, even though a lot of your money, look at the stores that they have in Broward County. And in Miami. Black folks are spending money to make them richer. You shut that down just for a little bit, and they feel that economic impact. And by the way, they already forecast that it's tumultuous times ahead, that they're not going to see as much revenues this year. Warren Buffett, the billionaire investor, is pulling his money out the markets because he sees what's coming. It is crazy what these folks are doing for themselves. It's all about their own self-interest. Let's not be fooled at all. So call your friends, your family, and everyone and get them engaged. Shut down your spending for a day. Shut down your spending for a day unless it's essential. And if you do spend with small businesses within your community.
There you go.
Avoid every expenditure you can. Because if we show them that this economy can be impacted by us, all of them, all the big business folks, all the billionaires who are looking to make more money and who prop this government up, they're going to say, wait a minute, we can't afford to lose money. We got to make sure we do what's right and what's fair. And we, the conscience of this nation, the conscience of the world, black folks I'm talking about, we are the conscience.
That's right.
Take the action.
I'm on live with, yes, Mr. Mayor, my forever mayor, Mr. Dale Holness. Thank you for giving me some of your food for thought. And thank you for the encouragement. We always appreciate you calling in and just adding on your wisdom to the conversation. Thank you, sir. I'm going to let you go. I appreciate you.
Okay.
Thank you. All right. Dale Holness said he had to call in because, listen, we're doing work in here. This is a community. We're here trying to help and encourage. Every time I turn on the news, I'm hearing more and more foolishness. And I said, but I got to come with a word. But I have been in my late night meditation and prayer. I've been saying, God, what next? What do you need me to do? Help me to use my platform in a different type of way. I'm not here for the show. We're here for the community. So as I'm thinking about this word fast and what former Mayor Holness was just saying, this word fast, there is a call for economic fasting. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just letting you know what is being said. You are not alone. The 24-hour economic blackout is what they're calling it tomorrow, Friday, February 28th, 12 a.m. to 11:59 p.m. This is what I get from my WhatsApp. Several people have sent it to me saying no corporate spending, no gas, no food. This says the message I'm reading from my WhatsApp. This is where we start. We turn it off for one day. We show them who has the power. This is what I got. Several people end up sending it to me. I said, I got to bring it to the people. I'm talking about fasting. And I'm talking about ways in which we create change that we want to see. Don't let anybody fool you. The power is with the people. Let me say it again. The power is with the people. When the people are fed up, when the people hold back their dollars, when the people have had enough, trust me, takes 4 to 5%. The government has to respond. So don't let all the news headlines throw you off your game. You know what me might fast from? Let me tell you right now. Me might have to fast from the eggs. Me not buy no more eggs for the whole Lent. I'm telling you right now, I'm fed up of paying the $7 for the eggs. I'm fed up of paying the $7 for the eggs. We said we wanted economic change. That's what y'all said, right? I'm fed up. I got to stop yelling. Sorry. I get emotional. Sorry. I'm but human. I gotta calm down. Mikey, sorry. I'm fed up. I am fed up. All of y'all talking about, well, we needed an economy. We needed a change in the economy. I just heard this morning plans for tariffs on European goods. It's hard to tell right now who are the friends of America and who are the enemies of America. This is what's hard for me to understand. We didn't even get into the golden card, not the green card, the golden card. $5 million to become an American citizen. But we're looking at taking away Medicaid, Medicare, cutting back on things for everyday citizens who are already here. The most rich in the world don't necessarily bring the same moral values that we hold as Americans. It's wrong to assume that because you can pay to play, you ought to be a citizen. There are people who have also been in line, who also will pledge their allegiance to the values, to the Constitution, to our way of life, and they should be treated as equals. But now we have a fast track. Y'all don't hear me. But don't let anybody make you think you're less important or you're less than a human being. You are somebody. Your vote matters. What it is that you want matters. How you want to live your life in this American experience matters. And the people that you voted for should be listening to you. We haven't felt all of these cuts yet, but they're coming, babe. They're talking about it. Let me turn on the mic. Man, I yelled too much. Sorry. The Medicaid, the Medicare, all of this. They're going to cut back the grandma's $1,800 a month. That's what's going to save us. In America, that's what's going to save us. Where the extra rich billionaires are looking around saying, yeah, go do it. I thought this was an administration for the little people. That's what y'all told me. This is what y'all told me. This was an administration that was going to fight for the everyday person. Show me the proof. Somebody call me right now. 850-446-0562. I don't see it being for the little guy. Y'all seem to got it mixed up. Where is the little guy in the equation? Because as far as the millions of people that's about to lose their job, when it comes to cutting out the Department of Education, where do we live? We're going to talk about this in the fasting. Y'all, we're going to talk about this. Economic, they saying it's fasting, they calling a boycott out, whatever they're going to call it. There is call for a show of strength. I got 2 flyers here. The 24-hour economic blackout, Friday, February 28th. That's tomorrow. Friday, February 28th. No corporate spending, no gas, no food, no fast food. Turn it off. I've heard people, especially when I was on a call, as I told you, Win with Black Women, when they told us, do not watch the channel that has fired our girl, Joyanne Reed. Turn the TV off. Should I play the Kendrick? Turn the TV off. Turn the TV off. Y'all want me to play the Kendrick or what? How do we have impact? We make moves. We hold back. Let me open up the other flyer, because this is the first one I saw. The economic blackout for tomorrow, Friday 28th. I don't know if you're going to do it. I'm just telling you what I know. Women Look Panado one. They have a whole list of days. Now, I should play. Let me play. I have time. I'm going to play a little bit of Pastor Jamal Bryant. Let me play a little bit of Pastor Jamal Bryant. He is calling also for the fast. He's calling for a 40-day fast, starting with Lent. He called out Target. Because he's saying Target don't want no DEI. Target is pulling other products that are made or not prioritizing those that are made by creators of color and producers of color. Let me play a little bit of Jamal Bryant. He was on the Roland Martin show. You guys know that I'm a contributor on the Roland Martin show as well, from time to time. But he said, where is the church in all of this? Where is the church in all of this? Where is the church in all of this? When we talk about fasting, I don't want no preacher that's just preaching on a Sunday. I want a preacher that's making moves on Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday. Who go? All right, let me calm down. Let me play it. Let me see the time. I can play some of it. The other guide of the planned economic blackout I have says the economic blackout tour. They're saying Friday, tomorrow, February 28th, economic blackout. Don't buy nothing. There are people who are also saying March 7th through 14th, Amazon. Boy, uno love uno Amazon. Can you live without the Amazon? I don't know. Them said March 7th to 14th, Amazon. May I read from the paper? It said March 12th, 21st to 28th, Nestle. I guess they have it for each organization that is no longer supporting DEI. I think that's what that is. April 7th through 14th, Walmart. Whoo. April 18th, economic blackout number 2. April 21st, Google it. General Mills. May 6th to 12th, Amazon boycott 2. Walmart boycott 2, May 20 to 26, June. Target again, June 3rd. Are you ready though? What can you sacrifice? I'm looking at again, trying to become more spiritually empowered in the face of some of the most unspeakable action I've seen in terms of a government and those who proclaim to be on behalf of the working man and the everyday roundaway person, those who proclaim it, right? But then did you see the little calm down. I don't want no Black History Garden. I don't want no Black History Garden. I want real economic empowerment. I don't want no Black History Garden. Do you hear me? Calm down. You have Black History reception. You think that's what we need? I don't want that. Are you going to educate my students in the schools? Are you going to leave out half of the history because it's uncomfortable to you? Is that what you're planning to do? You're planning to gut the Department of Education. You're planning to roll back Veterans Affairs? The people who fought for the country, you planning to roll that back. The people who sacrificed for this country, you planning to roll that back. That's what you planning for? This what we have as representatives of the people? What are you doing? Let me just ask you. The word of the day is fast. Let me calm down. Let me sit down because my pressure. Mikey, me now make you lose the license. Let me see. I'm not telling you what to do, you know. I'm just telling you what is out there because the people are slowly organizing. You think you're by yourself. You're not by yourself is what I want to remind you. You're not by. Oh, let me change my I sat down and didn't move the thing. Thank you. You're not by yourself. I don't want you to feel like you're by yourself. You're not by yourself. You hear what I'm telling you? Start to think about what you're doing. Your Ramadan, your Lent. Think about what you can be doing to increase your spiritual strength in times like these. When you look around, look at what hagwan. You don't know what tomorrow will hold. And I'm looking, like I say, my granny used to say, everything to God on time. You hear what I'm telling you? No man can outrun God and no man can outrun time. You hear what I'm telling you? None of them have to go answer. You cannot do people so and nothing will happen to you. Do not lose heart, my people. Do not lose heart. But I'm asking you, what are you willing to give up? It's a fasting time. It's Ramadan. It's Lent. Passover. If you're not even celebrate, think about your strength, your spiritual strength. What can you be doing? We don't answer to man. We don't answer to man. No matter what the office. All are created equal in the eyes of God. You hear what I'm telling you? Let me play Pastor Jamal Bryant before I get in trouble. Calm down, Mikey. Mikey, me not make you lose your license, Mikey. Hold on, let me get the something queued up because I want to play his call for boycott. Not here, not Voice of the Caribbean. These are not views of Voice of the Caribbean or its ownership. I'm just delivering what people are doing. People want change. And if people want change, this is what you have to be willing to do. You hear what I'm telling you? This is what you have to be willing to do. Let me play Pastor Jamal. Let me get. Sorry for my YouTubers. Let me move you. My YouTube. I have to play the Jamal Bryant because he was on an interview with Roland Martin, the owner of Black Star Network, and Roland and Pastor Jamal were talking about the economic boycott. I'm gonna play pieces of it. My YouTubers, I'm gonna have to pause it because I don't want to get a copyright strike. But if you're listening on the app, you're gonna be able to hear it fully. Okay? I'm gonna play here. Here, listen to what he's calling for.
About the focus on Target. Earlier, you saw me with the show the Target stock price. That effort was launched by Tina Turner's organization. That commenced on February 1st. Ever since then, you've seen the actions take place all across the country. You've even seen some folks going to Target, filling their baskets up with groceries, and then going to the counter and literally saying, "Oh no, I'm sorry, I'm not going to buy these items because y'all not supporting DEI." And we talk about DEI, it's not just, folks. It's not just, again, as some people rightfully say, oh, these DEI positions largely held by somebody white.
Again, if you're just tuning in, this is Suzette Speaks Show Live, and I am just covering what Roland Martin and others. Carla, I see you. I hope this is my special guest. Carla, I see you. I'm going to bring you on, but hold a minute. I was expecting you earlier. Hold on. I'm playing a little bit about what is happening with the 40-day Target fast that Pastor Jamal Bryant, you can look him up yourself, Pastor Jamal Bryant, one of the leaders, I believe, in this new evangelical movement, especially among black churches. He is saying that the pulpit on Sunday is not enough, that what everyday people are experiencing every other day of the week matters and should matter to people of faith. And Pastor Jamal Bryant talks about Target fasting from the beginning of Lent to the end of Lent. This is not me suggesting it. I am discussing what Pastor Jamal Bryant is putting forth as he described on the Roland Martin show. Carla, we might have to take you right up into the break. Hold on one second.
It's really about the infrastructure, supply, diversity, contracts, things along those lines. And so Pastor Jamal Bryant announced earlier this month an initiative called Target Fast. And he's going to explain what this is. But a lot of people are always talking about, well, what are the demands? Well, they're very clear. If you go to targetfast.org, this is what you'll see. The 4 demands of Target. Honor the $2 billion pledge to the black business community through products and services and black media buys. Deposit $250 million amongst any of our 23 black banks. Completely restoring the franchise commitment to DEI. And they create a pipeline community center at 10 HBCUs to teach retail business at every level. So let me walk you through this here. So again, when Target announced that they were doing, this was a few years ago when we in the Black-owned media alliance, we began to challenge them. Target announced they were going to spend by December 2025, $2 billion annually with black-owned businesses. Okay. Then they also were rolling out a program to really add black-owned products to their stores. So if you actually go to, I'm going to show you in a second. If you go to Target.
So if you go to targetfast.org, you'll find the information. I just want to play a little bit of Pastor Jamal Bryant and why he's saying he's doing this Target fast. This is a pastor. He's coming out of, I believe it's Texas. He is calling for, especially the black church, those who are part of communions where their parishioners are predominantly of African diaspora, asking, are you willing to fast? And he's calling for a fast. And again, it's not that of this station or me as an individual, but I'm discussing what Pastor Jamal Bryant has brought forth as a possible way of making the people voices heard. Now, let me try to fast forward to Mr. Bryant's comments. I want to get to that so you guys can hear it, and then I'll take the caller. Let me see if I can get to it.
I can hear you, sir. Okay, there we go. There we go. See, Alpha's always teaching, always teaching. This right here is Target's website. So this is their Black History Month section. So you see down here where they have all of this. They have a button down here called Shop All Black Owned or Founded Brands. So when you click that, there are 1,135 results. Now, last month there were more than that. You've had some Black-owned brands that have actually pulled their products from Target stores. Jamal, you had a brother at your church a couple of weeks ago who was in more than 1,000 Target stores. It's a clothing brand, and he pulled his product to honor this boycott effort, correct? That's correct. Black Men Smile. And so, so the goal is to get 100,000 people to sign up for Target Fast. That begins, is it March 5th? Yes, sir. Next Wednesday, we're up now rolling for 70,000. So 70,000 people signed up. The goal is to get 100,000 by next Wednesday, March 5th. So you got 30,000 to go. That's correct. Walk folks through the thought process of how you decided to not call it a boycott, but to call it a Target Fast. Explain. Because my call was directly to the Black church. I got a church to have sin in the game. In the emergence of Black Lives Matter, this is the very first civil rights movement where the Black church is not on the front line and a faith leader is not the drum major. And so I'm mindful that other boycotts are moving forward, but I wanted the Black church to say that our head is not in the sand, but that we're aware and we're lifting our prophetic voice. Lent is the holy season for Christians that goes from Ash Wednesday to Easter, so that while we're withdrawing our funds from Target, we're also focused in prayer to take the spirit of the Montgomery bus boycott, who every night for over a year went back to the church at night to get their spiritual grounding. But I was explaining this earlier, and I showed this book here, the Montgomery bus boycott and the women who started, the memoir of Joanne Gibson Robinson. She was the one who crafted the boycott. And as I said, it was a one-day boycott. After that first day, they extended it 5 more days, and then they said we're going to continue it in perpetuity until we get what we want. And so,
you are the So I'm going to stop it there because, again, you can look it up. Pastor Jamal Bryant's call for a fast. He's calling it a fast from Target, beginning at the beginning of Lent and going through the end of Lent, beginning next Wednesday for those who are celebrating in the Christian tradition. Lent begins next Wednesday, and it will continue for 40 days and culminate with Easter, right? When Christians celebrate the resurrection of Christ Jesus. We have Ramadan starting tomorrow, Ramadan. Happy Ramadan to those who are celebrating in that faith. We have Passover as well. There are many who are in the faith communities, right? We are a multicultural community, but we are looking for ways to stand in solidarity with one another to create change. And again, we are not advocating, we are informing our listeners of what's happening in the community right here on the Suzette Speaks show. I'm going to leave it there. You can look up Pastor Jamal Bryant, and you can look up Roland Martin and Pastor Jamal Bryant talking about a Target fast. I'm asking you, the word of the day is fast. And I'm asking you what you are willing to commit to. But on another note, as I told you, I do have a special guest who has been waiting for a few minutes. He was going to call earlier. I'm glad I didn't say his name, but he's going to introduce himself to the people. I hope this is him. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, caller.
Hi, this is William Jackson.
Okay, this is not my special guest. That's all right. Listen, I'm going to call his name, Mr. Eddie Edwards. We had you scheduled for today. I wanted you to come and talk about your run for the City of Miramar Commission. If anybody can link Mr. Edwards, get him on the phone, 850-446-0562. We still like to have him, and we would want him to introduce himself and what he's going to do for the City of Miramar residents. All right, big up Eddie Edwards, but he missed my call today, so I didn't hear him today. Maybe we can grab him tomorrow. All right. Okay, Mr. Jackson, the floor is yours. What would you like to share?
I just wanted to say, please don't sit down. Stand up. You are doing a great job. This is Really, really wonderful. I wish I could amplify it all over South Florida, all over the state, all over the country, because you are doing it. Don't feel like you got to calm down. We don't need people to calm down. We need people to stand up and tell what's on their minds. Just like you're saying, everything. People not gonna get mad when you stand up. We need to hear that. Everyone's saying it's gonna be fine. We're gonna stand by and see. No, we gonna mess around and find out.
Exactly.
We gotta let people know that this is the last time we're gonna deal with
Miss Chin, no commercials. Miss Chin, Miss Chin, no commercials.
The oldest came on and said it earlier. We have a force. We represent more than half of the market, more than half of the population, more than half of the ideas. We have a rich history. We can't let that go alone. It's right. It's not 28 days a year. It's 365 days a year. That's the history. People need to know that. Do not sit down. Stand up. Don't just stand up tomorrow. Know your worth. Know your value. Know the rest of the year, the rest of the 4 years. Don't sit down. Stand up. We need you. We need you to get that message out. Your producer won't turn you off. I promise you. I guarantee it. Don't get frustrated when you sound like you're going to blow the microphone up. We need to know that this is not the time to be quiet, not the time to be said. They're doing that for us. They're censoring for us already. We can't. Who them want to come test? We got to let them know.
You already know. You know, sir. Thank you, Mr. Jackson. I appreciate you so very much. Thank you for your words of encouragement. And I appreciate your call.
Yes, you're doing it.
Yes, sir. Thank you so very much, Mr. Robert Jackson. I appreciate it. And I'm going to let you go. I thank you so much, sir. Listen, I'm fired up. And again, for those who are listening for the first time, and I am an attorney, I'm praying for strength because I see what happened to Joyanne Reed and I see what happens to others. So there are people that are getting very sheepish. And I want to be as honest with the people as I can. And I want to be as bold as I can. So I know even in my work here at the Voice of the Caribbean, like I said, I do have some limitations based on the license here. But I also want to be sure that I am, doing the work of the people. So I appreciate you, Mr. Jackson. Thank you to everybody watching and listening, because we do have work to go. And again, the word of the day is what? The word of the day is fast. So no matter where you are, you can do your part. All right. Gotta go. See you guys tomorrow. Have a good one. Thanks for watching, guys.